welcome to everyone to this webinar on online scheduling with pwConenct. I have Himesh on the line as well with Patient Express, and he's going to help share this wonderful service that's going to really help your practices fill your chairs as you're reopening and as you move forward, just maximizing production in the office. There's some really powerful, real aspects to online scheduling. So we're going to go over that. So I'm going to get started with just a brief intro, and then we'll show you how this system works. So if I look here, there's a couple of stats that are really important to know. The first one here is 77% of patients want to schedule online instead of calling you. And this is just a reality of the modern mobile age we live in. And so what that means is, there's a lot of patients out there that are going to pick dentists based on how convenient it is to schedule with that dentist. And you want to be at the front of that line. So that's, stat number one that is really eye-opening for all of us. Stat number two is 38% of appointments are scheduled after hours, which means, people are calling in maybe after hours, or they're using online scheduling with other dentists, and they're scheduling these appointments after hours because, as we all know, we have busy lives. Sometimes you don't even get a few minutes to call your dentist or a dentist to schedule a new appointment during the day when you're working. So they try to reach out after hours, maybe on the way home or before they go to work. So a lot of times your office might be closed and you don't have a 24/7 kind of call center to answer all of those requests, and nor do you need to with online scheduling. So 38% are scheduled after hours. It's really important to know. And that's, again, pointing out that if you're not using this service, you're missing out on quite a few appointments and new patients. The last stat I'm going to share is 8.1 minutes is the average it takes to schedule an appointment by phone. So that means, people calling in, you have to really figure out who they are, what they want, start putting in some basic data in pwConenct and answer any other questions they have, send any text messages you need to confirm the appointment with them, or send them a, kind of a save the date type of message. So all that process takes about 8.1 minutes on average. And if you have 10, 15 people calling in, which would be great because that means your marketing is doing really well, then that's a lot of time that your staff is spending on that scheduling activities that they could be doing, that they could use to do a lot more productive and important things in the office with patients who are there and other types of follow-up. Also, this is another reason why patients don't like to call in, because they know it's going to take time to get into someone and schedule it. So they just want to be able to do it at the convenience with online scheduling. So these are very important statistics to know. This is why online scheduling is not just another bell and whistle, another cost for your practice. It's something that's very, very important in 2020 and going forward. So with that said, I did want to share a little bit more on why online scheduling. So number one is you will get new patients and appointments, and we're really seeing this in very, very kind of hard, cold facts with the clients who are using this, that they're getting new patients and appointments that you're missing right now, because you're going to be able to provide the 24/7 convenience of online scheduling from multiple different venues, not just your website, not just Facebook, but Yelp, Google, text, emails, and more. And we're going to go over that in this webinar. Another reason is, this is an excellent way to use this system, is you can provide online scheduling in your mass texts and emails that you can send out using pwConenct with pwConenct if you have texting. And also we have a PW newsletter which does the mass emails. So you can include an online scheduling link right there in the text and email for all patients who have recalls due, outstanding treatment, and canceled appointments, or even when you're two-way texting with someone and they need to reschedule, you can send them this link and say, hey, look at this schedule, go ahead or look at this link, go ahead and schedule when you're free and we'll take care of you. So there's a lot of convenience, and that makes it much more likely that they're actually going to use your texts and emails to get on your schedule, because now they can just schedule online and figure out the date and time that works for them. Third thing is, now with everything that's going on, as you reopen your offices, this is an excellent way to fill your schedule quickly. I'm sure a lot of you are sending out welcome back texts and emails, and if you're not, then you definitely should be to all your patients as you're reopening. And so in that message, you can include this online scheduling link, and that will really get them in quicker because they can figure out when they can come in. And I'm sure there's plenty of them that want to come in and see you. So you want to make it as easy as possible. And that's just a matter of reducing friction to create an appointment. You want to make it as easy as possible for patients to do an appointment with your office. So with that said, I think this is all an eye-opener to us, and it helps us realize the importance of this. So now we want to jump right in and show you how this works. So with this Facebook page you're looking at, imagine that this is a Facebook page for your practice. And this is just an example. Like I said, you can do this on Yelp, you can do this on Google, your practice website, but we're just going to use Facebook as an example. So on this page, you see in the middle there's a book now button. So before we click on that, let me kind of give the background. So let's say John Smith is coming in, or he actually is looking for dentist to get an exam and a cleaning. So he's looking around, he finds your Facebook page. Maybe you're doing some great Google AdWords and Google marketing, and so it's directing John in your area to your office. So now he ends up on your Facebook page. So now the marketing dollars you've put in has done its job. It's gotten this patient to your Facebook page. Now that's where online scheduling picks it up and makes sure you don't waste those marketing dollars and they actually get booked on your schedule. So let's say John Smith shows up on your page here and he wants to set up that cleaning and exam. So he's going to click on that. He's going to look on this page and say, oh, wow, there's some great reviews here, great information about this practice. I want to get an appointment with them. So instead of having to pick up the phone, call, maybe he gets someone, maybe he gets your answering, service, or he gets your voicemail. Instead of all of that friction, he's going to see this book now button and he's going to go ahead and click on that to schedule online. So go ahead and click on that. And so once he clicks on that, it's going to take him to this online appointment book. And on this book, this is all fully customizable, which we're going to go over later in this webinar on what appointments are available for online scheduling. You can do it as limited or as broad as you want, but we just have some examples here. Let's do the emergency exam. Let's pretend that's a cleaning. That should normally just say cleaning and exam. So now he's picked that appointment type. Now he's going to go ahead and he can pick the provider there. So if he wants, you can set it up either way in your office. Yes. You can do it by provider or you can have it just generic. But let's say he really likes Dr. Baramani there. So you want to pick that one. So let's go that one. That's a doctor that he saw got a lot of great reviews on the Facebook page. So he wants to select that one. Now you can see here that he has a couple of available time slots on any particular date. So let's say he's trying to book for today. He wants to get in soon. So let's book that 2 o'clock appointment. Give him a couple hours to...
I picked noon.
Oh, that's fine. So noon is fine. So let's say he picked noon. Now with this solution, one thing that's really important with online scheduling is you want to avoid spam appointments. And the surefire way to do that is have this very quick authentication. So it makes sure that this is a real patient who really needs to get in. It's not some spam appointment that's going to waste your time. Okay, so John has entered his number here, and he's going to get this verification code. And now he needs to look at his text message. He's going to get a text here, and so that's the text message he gets. So that's his verification code, 8132. He's going to drop that right into this screen. So really simple to authenticate. He's authenticated. Now we know he's a new patient, and he selected new patient there. Now we're going to, let's stop here for a minute and go through this. So he's going to enter his first name, last name, email. So you can go ahead and do that, Hemish. And yeah, you can use your email there. And then his mobile number, which we already entered before, it's already pre-filled in there again. Date of birth is in there, so we can put something that makes sense. Okay, and then how did you, this is a great thing. You can actually customize this list so you can figure out where are these appointments coming from. That's really excellent. That's called ROI, return on investment kind of analytics. So we give that to you right here. You can see whether it was Facebook, Google, Yelp, or some other thing. You can put everything that you want in here of how did they hear about you. So that's going to help you a lot as well. So let's say Facebook, that's where he got the appointment from. And then appointment type is there from before, date of appointment he picked earlier. He can change that here if he wants to, if he changes his mind. But let's instead of demo with PW, let's put something else there. Let's put pain in the upper right of mouth. So this is right. Let's wait for that for a second. So this note will show up in the appointment, and it will be visible to everyone in the office who's looking at this to see, what are John's concerns before he's coming in. Why is he coming in? It might be a regular exam, but he might have some specific things he wants to tell the doctor. So that's a great field right there, and it's going to show up right in PracticeWeb. We'll show you in a minute. So now we can go ahead and book the appointment. And after you book the appointment, now wait here for a minute. One great thing is they get a save the date type of text message, which you can customize. But let's go look at that text message. Right there, you can see dental appointment booked for this time and the name of your practice, and you can kind of customize this. But this is a great message that it's an immediate confirmation text that goes to the patient. And this is all handled through online scheduling. Now, if we go back to that appointment booked page, you can see some great information here, some instructions. You can customize these instructions. We've put some there at the bottom. Please arrive 15 minutes before your appointment. Right now, face covering could be recommended for safety purposes. Then please contact us 24 hours before if you need to reschedule. You can put anything you want there. We'll show you how to customize that. Also, you can see on the right side that it gives them very clear directions and your contact information, how to get there, all that stuff. And then it gives you your contact number, like I said. Now, another good thing after not just this confirmation and instructions, a great feature with online scheduling, which streamlines everything, is completing the forms online right when they schedule. So that's going to save a lot of time when they walk in. So we can go ahead and click on that button. Now, with this online form aspect, you can kind of customize these forms, set them up how you want, which we'll go over. But let's go with what we have here. So now Hemish can kind of go slow on this first one just to show how it works. So let's take this registration form, and you have a picture here. It looks like John has grown out his hair a little bit there, but that's okay. But that's fine. And so we have John here, and he took his pictures. That's going to show up in PracticeWeb under this patient now. And this patient's going to get created within PracticeWeb after they submit everything. So now we can go ahead and fill this out, Hemish. So if you want to show how that works, we can look at that.
The doctor. And you can add, make it required, non-required. Some offices want social security as required, so you can change that. And if you change the gender, the forms changes accordingly. If you change the age, the form changes accordingly.
So yeah, let's fill out that's still the biographical information, and then what's below that in the so let's actually complete the forms. I think that's what we need to do, right, to get to that thank you page. So let's complete the forms, starting with the registration. Did we complete the registration form?
Yes, and we went to the medical form.
Okay, so now we're in the medical history form. This is again customizable, but let's just fill out these questions quickly. We can show you how that looks. Again, the great thing is all of this information is going to be directly imported into PracticeWeb. No need to look at the form, manually enter it. That saves a lot of time. So we're going to fill out the rest of this, and you can, hopefully not, but if they have that, they can put that there. And then allergies, if they have any that you need to be aware of. And then you can look here and see and make sure it's the self. They can sign electronically. That's really great. And now you can go to the next form.
And so again,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good. This can be also customized pretty easily.
Yeah, so this dental form is basically getting some dental history. So you can start filling that out, Hemish, and I'll kind of discuss it. So dental history, we'll just go over, obviously, anything related to their teeth and previous exams, previous experiences they've had with dentists, any issues relating specifically to their teeth and gums and mouth that they can provide. So again, good information to review right before they come in so you can know what to focus on. And then again, they fill it out, sign it, and go on to the next form. So this one is insurance. They can upload dental insurance information here or upload their card if they want. If we have one, we can go ahead and do that. Just pretend that that's a card there. Okay, so we're going to pretend those are cards that they've uploaded, and then subscriber ID, they can enter. If they are the guarantor, they will put that in. If they're the insured, obviously group number, etc., they would fill out. And then let's say this person doesn't have secondary, so we're going to go forward after that. And then next form will be the HIPAA form, which you can customize. And they're going to enter the kind of recognition of those things and sign it. Your financial agreement here, billing process, read that, sign that. Any other policies you have, for example, cancellation, no-show. They're going to acknowledge all of it, sign that, and submit. Now, once they submit, if you can, Hemish, does that show a thank you page after they submit the form?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll just let that process, and then we can come back to, oh, there it is. Okay, so just thank you. And this is, I believe you can put more information here, right?
Yes.
Like
you can customize this also.
Yeah, so you can add any message you want here to thank them for signing up and for an appointment with your office. So now let's go over to the appointment itself and see how that looks in Practice Web. So let's go over to Practice Web, take a look. So we can see this appointment instantly added. It's right there on your calendar. You can see if you double click on that appointment, you can see what procedures they scheduled for. And there's that note right there in the appointment. That's excellent. You can, anything they wanted you to know about, they can put in that note there. And all the procedures are scheduled. And now what happens is, one thing we wanted to mention is when they select the procedures at the beginning of the process, that will automatically figure out how much time you need to dedicate for your slot here. So on this one, it took about, I think it looks like a 45-minute appointment, but you can customize that as you'd like in Practice Web. So that's something we will go over with you if you want more information during the trial setup. But that's something that is great. And then another thing is, if you double click on this, you see all those quick procedures there in the center. So these are kind of the available things that you can present for online scheduling, and you can customize this list from the definition screen in Practice Web, which we don't have to show right now, but you can customize it there. And so that's going to be your full list of things that you can present for online scheduling, and you can choose a subset of that. You don't have to present all of that, but that's where it's coming from. So you can set up a quick procedure which has multiple procedures associated with it. So like a regular exam, or if you have other complicated treatment, you can have kind of a package of procedures in that thing that they're selecting during online scheduling. So that, yeah, that's right here under this section. So you can see all the codes associated with each of the quick procedures there. So now I think that's a great overview of the flow, the basic flow. Now with this appointment, obviously you can call the patient. Now if you want to click out of here, you can call this patient, follow up if you need to, or you can just wait for them to show up. If they have, now this will work in conjunction with your pwConenct. So if you have pwConenct texting where you have the automated confirmations and reminders, they're automatically going to get the confirmation text and reminder text, just like as with any other appointment that you have on your schedule. So you don't necessarily have to follow up with them, but if you want to, that's also a good thing just for building that relationship with the patient and making them feel welcome to your practice. Now what we're going to show is some of the settings that you can do to customize how this works. So if we go to the configuration screen, and we'll go over that a little bit. So this is the login that you're going to have for your practice.
And this login is same as your Practice Web login, so you do not have to remember anything new.
Excellent. So exactly what you use for Practice Web is what you're going to use here for the admin. So now you've logged in. Let me pause just a minute here on this screen. This is a calendar where you can actually do remote booking. I'm not going to go into it in great detail, but if you have a unique situation where, let's say, one of your team members wants to be able to book appointments for people calling in on your schedule, they can actually do this remotely, even from wherever they are, without having to be in the office in front of practice web. So that's a nice feature if you want to use it, but it's not required or anything, just an optional thing there. So now let's go into the configuration screen. And then we can go over, starting from the top, how to set this up. So at the top, you see there's an online scheduling section. This lists the operatories and appointment types you want to basically present to patients when they're doing the online scheduling. So you can add operatories here with the add button. You can modify the existing ones. So let's take any operatory here, call it web schedule. And this is pulling again from practice web. So whatever operatories you have in practice web are going to show up here. And now you can say, what do I want the patient to schedule online in that specific operatory? So let's just pick a few there. Anything you want. So perio maintenance, emergency exams, etc. So you save that. And now you'll see in a moment there, that operatory has been added, and the appointment types that will be presented for online scheduling are included. And you can, again, customize this as often as you'd like to whatever you'd like. Now, next section is the appointment slot time. So all this means is, do you want them to schedule the appointments in 1 hour kind of increments? So like you present a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock time to them, or do you want them to see half an hour slots, like 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2, 2:30? Again, this is not the length of the appointment, because that's going to be determined by the procedures that they're selecting. This is just for the start time of the appointment. Do you want them to start on the hour, or is it okay if they start on the half an hour? So it's up to you. It's just a small custom feature there. Next section, I'm going to skip that one and come back to it in a minute. But the one at the bottom there is for medical, those forms that we looked at. So this is where you can do some customization of medical forms. And there's a lot of things you can do here, and we will work with you hand in hand to get it to exactly what you'd like it to be for your forms, because I know that's always very important for everyone. So this is just to show you where you can do some of that customization, and there's a lot more you can do here. And you can, we won't click on that, but in the registration form, you can kind of figure out what's required, what's not, etc. Now, the next thing is the booking appointment charges. So that's an interesting option. It's completely optional. Some people use it, some people don't. But if you want to do an extra thing where you make sure that this patient is legit and they're going to show up, you can do a very small reservation fee if you like. You could do $1, $5, $10, whatever, to make them serious about this appointment, so they don't no-show, or they don't, maybe do this in multiple offices and then show up to one of them. So you can do a reservation fee here, and you can provide any note you want there. So what we've put a note here is, please pay this small reservation fee, which will be applied to your balance. So you can always apply this to their balance after the treatment, but it's just like a deposit almost for their appointment. So if you want to do this, you can. Now we're going to show you quickly how that looks. So Hemesh, if you can go back to that flow of the patient scheduling online, they can see how that shows up there.
So this time I'm going to use the existing patient myself for the quick flow. I'm going to select a date, select the time. I'm going to put my cell phone, or maybe the other one.
Yeah, you can do yourself for this one, just because it's.
So we can use the same one.
Okay, sure. Use the same one.
916. What is number? 949 954. Zero 0849. But so you can see how an existing patient is booking the appointment. Now he won't be a new patient; he would be existing patient again. He got the code.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. This is for new and existing patients, so it's not just for new ones. And I'm going to show you a little bit in a moment how that's very useful for you for existing patients. So if it's existing, it's going to pick up, oh, there you are right there, and they can select the name John Smith from that list here. So it's going to recognize, oh, you've come to see us before, here you are, and they can just go ahead and select that in the list. And it's associated with their phone number that they're using. Mm-hmm. So now, again, we're just showing how that that reservation fee looks. So we're going to go right to that. Can book the appointment, and then here it is. So let's pause here. So this screen shows you that reservation fee. Again, you can change that amount. We showed you how to do that. You can change this note at the top to make it as polite and nice as you want to explain why you're requiring this. But here's where they would enter their credit card details, and that would be basically provided as payment towards this appointment. So this is a nice feature if you want to use it. Now, the other thing I wanted to show, we went through the patient flow, how they get in from Facebook, show up here, schedule the appointment, choose everything, get the confirmation. You see it on your schedule. We showed you how an existing patient as this one can do the same thing. Now I want to show you how to use your texting to really turbocharge all of this, let's call it. So I'm going to show you that real quick. So this, let me tell you one thing, is this appointment book here, you have your own unique link. That's what you're putting on your Facebook, your website, et cetera, et cetera. So that unique link you can also use in your text messages and emails. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. Now you can see Practice Web in the background. This is pwConenct texting. So let's say you're using pwConenct, which we obviously highly recommend to fill your chairs and maximize production. So let's say you are sending out your automated recall reminders. Those go out every week to people who are coming up due for recalls. So what you can do is customize that message to include this link here, and that's the link for the online scheduling. So if I, for example, let me take that link, and we can just put that right into a browser, prove the point. So I just put that link in here and took me to the appointment book. So that's exactly what the patient is going to be able to do from their cell phone. They'll open it up in their web browser on their phone, or if they're on their computer, they can open it up there. So you can put that link right there in the automated recall reminders. There's several ways to do any text message you send out, you can include this link. So another way I will show you is if you go to your appointment list, then let's say you want to target other people on recall, not just the ones who are coming up, but maybe there's some from way back when who are due for recall, like let's say these people from 2018, 2019. So now if I want to text them, I set this up as well, which you can do in that same screen I showed earlier in pwConenct, and I added that link. So now you're saying, it's time for your dental checkup. Please click here to pick a good time and date for your appointment. So now they can conveniently schedule that whenever they're free, and they don't have to call you in, play phone tag, or do anything like that to get scheduled. So this is a great thing you can put in your recall there if you're just targeting specific recall patients. Another quick way to do this is, let's say you have a lot of treatment that has been planned, outstanding treatment, but has not been completed because of whatever reason they didn't decide to do it yet. So now you may have a much longer list than what I'm showing here, but let's say you have some patients and they have some procedures to be done here, an amalgam and extraction. So we're going to text all those patients. They will all appear here. Again, I customized this message right from pwConenct to include that link. So they can get this message, and you can say you have some very important dental treatment or anything else you'd like to tell them. And please click here, again, to do it at your convenience. Schedule a date and time that works for you. All you have to do is make sure that that type of treatment is available for your online scheduling. As long as it's available, they can pick that thing and schedule right then and there online. So another quick way to do this is going to be your unscheduled list. So you may have some people, especially with what happened recently where we had to close our offices, you may have several patients on this list, if you're using it properly, that who have canceled appointments, or they had to be canceled because your office was closed. And you can kind of filter this. So even if you didn't send them to this list, you can just click this broken appointments, and if that appointment was broken on your calendar or canceled, it'll show up on this list. So you can text them. Same thing. This is very good because they can now reschedule for that treatment when they are available using online scheduling, using that link. So these are just a few ways. Another thing is, if you are, you can do a direct text to a patient and send them the link. Let's say you're on the phone and they're not really sure when they're available. You can put that link right in there and send them a direct text message as you're talking to them, and say, here, I'm going to send you the link. Go ahead and schedule when you're available for this appointment. Another thing is when you're two-way texting. So let's say you are having some conversations. I don't have any currently, but let's say you're having some conversations here with patients, and they replied to your confirmation text saying, "I need to reschedule." Great, not a problem. Thanks for giving us at least a couple days notice. Here's a link to our online scheduling. Go ahead and you pick another time and date that works for you. Now you don't have to go back and forth and pick days, and it's like a cat and mouse game where you offer something and they're like, no, and can I do this instead? And you say no and waste everyone's time. You can just send them that link for online scheduling and they can go right here and figure out what time works for them. So multiple uses of this with texting and emailing. And as I said, you should be sending out mass texts with pwConenct to basically welcome everyone back. So you can use this marketing feature here, and you can select any text message, use a marketing feature, put that link right in your mass text to everyone saying, please schedule using this link if you want to get back in with us as soon as possible. So great thing for your reopenings. Now, with that said, I believe that was everything we wanted to cover in terms of the features. I did want to cover a few important details, including pricing and everything else here. So let me pull that up. So here's a special pricing. Expires on June 12th, so in about 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks for this pricing this special that we're running right now. The number one thing I want to emphasize is a 30-day risk-free trial, so you can really get set up. You can see the proof in the pudding, as they say, and make sure it's everything we've hyped it up to be, because we've seen the results and I want you to see them too. So you have the 30 days to do that. Now the pricing, it's very, very affordable. It's $89 a month. And if you can just imagine getting even a couple of appointments from this, which you definitely should, this more than pays for itself within that month. So this is really just a very small investment in turbocharging your appointments and your practice. So $89 a month for online scheduling. This is a special price. You're going to save about $720 a year. And then if you want to do those online forms that we showed, that's an add-on. That's $30 a month. And regular is $50, so you save $240 a year on that. And so total, you're saving, what is that, $960 a year going with this special pricing. One thing I want to emphasize is others who shall not be named, but there's others out there. We've done our market research. They charge more than $300 a month and a $500 setup fee for the same exact service, which is not even as integrated as this one is with PracticeWeb. So again, this is a killer deal. It's going to be really good for your practice, and you can prove that with a 30-day risk-free trial. And we're going to send out an email and a broadcast message with the link to sign up for this if you'd like. So don't worry about that. We'll get that out to you. Now, if you have any questions, we can answer them. You simply will need to do the Q&A function. So there's a Q&A function. I'm going to read some of these questions we have here. Someone asked a little bit ago that are all of these fields customizable? And I'm not sure which fields they're referring to, but I believe, almost everything is customizable in online scheduling, everything we showed you. So it's really intended to fit your practice like a glove, fit it perfectly. So don't worry about that. You have full customization. Then someone asked, you have a pro site website. Can you upload all forms and screening to the site? I believe we could put a link. Yes, if you sign up for that $30 add-on with the forms, you can link that to your website as well. And then someone asked how much for pwConenct. For pwConenct, we also have a great special right now. It's $69 a month, and we have a 30-day free trial on that as well. Regular price is $99 a month, so you're going to save $360 a year. That's another one where our competitors, they charge $200-300 a month for that same service. So pwConenct texting is another powerful thing, and it's a great 1-2 punch with this online scheduling. So if anyone else has questions, they can put them in this Q&A. I'll just wait for a little bit here, but if not, we can wrap it up with that. So I'm not seeing any other questions in the Q&A. Of course, if you have any questions come up, you can contact us here at 800-845-9379, option 1 for our sales team, or you can email us at sales@practice-web.com, and we will get you your answers on online scheduling. So it was really a great chance for us to present this to you. We really hope it helps your practice. We're all for helping your practice thrive, especially in these difficult times that you're now recovering from. So we are your partner in success, and always lean on us to help you get to where you need to get.